I'm sure a lot of us were taken by your personal story of what you went through with your loss of your parents, as well as your teacher who made such a difference. And thinking back to what Mindy said of all your degrees and now your role as the New York State Commissioner, you inspired us and challenged us. I also have to ask, as I was listening to you and thinking of the challenges for parents, volunteers, and teachers, the internet, it is a resource, but it is also this huge distraction. And the Facebook and the texting and the no talking face to face. Can you just offer us a few more inspiring words on how we praise its value when it's right, but we don't lose our kid in maybe saying, no, you can't do that, and then we lose them even more?
I think that's a really important question, and one of our huge challenges as a society is how we grapple with the change in technology. So one quick story and then a couple suggestions. So I have an iPad, and I never get to use it because my 5- and 7-year-olds, they are always on the iPad. And the iPad has 2 screens. So there's the first screen, then you slide it over, and there's a second screen. So one day I came home, and it was a rare occasion where I picked up the iPad, and on the first screen, I discovered none of my stuff was on the first screen. All of my stuff was on the second screen. I don't even know how to move things between the screens. But my girls figured out how to make sure that they could get to their activities very quickly. And they were less concerned about how I could find my stuff on the iPad. But I say all that to say that technology has an inevitability around it, right? We can't hold it back. Right, sometimes I think about the music executives when music first was available online, and they were suing, and they were going to do everything possible to stamp out music online. And now that's where everybody goes to get music, right? So there is an inevitability around technology. So I think there are 2 important things we need to do. One is that schools have an obligation when they use technology to use it to improve student learning, and not just use it as another tool, right? It has to be something that drives actual change in student learning. I get nervous when I go into schools and I see students doing rote worksheets on the computer screen as though that was leveraging technology to drive student learning, right? No, what students should be doing is what I see in some other schools where students are learning Chinese from a teacher in China, or where students are getting to discover a world they could never see in another country, right? Through the use of technology. So one is we've got to be vigilant about how schools use technology. And the other is we have to be vigilant about how our kids use technology at home. You should be there next to them when they're on the internet, right? There's a training that needs to happen about what's appropriate, what's not appropriate, and there's a knowledge that we need to have. We can't just say, well, the kids know what they're doing on the computer, so we let them go, right? We have to be a part of it and be vigilant about it as parents. And that's a challenge. It's a challenge to make time for that, but it's important that we learn what resources our students are accessing online, so we make sure it's the right ones. So those are my quick thoughts on it.
Oh, thank you.